In Israel of September 1996, a very peculiar UFO was spotted by local residents. It resembles a spherical aircraft with lights on the top and two larger lights on the bottom. The flying object transforms a couple times throughout the video. First, the three lights on top disappear and one single light is shown. Next, the lights transform into a crown-like shape. The bottom part of the object lowers itself and forms with the two bottom lights.
Alright, Shalom. This is Harawan by Yasha Allah of the Lion's Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Harakakwadash Ma'amad. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. And Shalom to you, Akim, the Nakwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This is Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, right? So the north would be up in the sky, all right? It's a great cloud. Now that word cloud means a chariot, all right, or a cherub. All right, as you saw, those angels standing there, man. It was obviously glowing. It had an amber hue, right? In the scripture, they would call it a fire by night, meaning it was lit up. All right, it had lights all over. It was lit up. But it was just crazy to me to see those chariots show up over Israel. Now, the guy that was speaking, he broke it down wrong. He was saying that the chariots showed up all in one night. See, I watched that video a while back, like in 2008. I watched that video, you know, and when I watched it, the original video, they stated that the chariots showed up like 3 nights in a row. All right, one night it showed up with one angel in the chariot. The next night it showed up with 3. Then the last night that it showed up, it had somebody with a crown on his head. All right. And that was just amazing to me because the one with the crown could have been anybody. You know, it could have been the Archangel Michael. It could have been one of the top angels, you know, under him. It could have been Yahweh Shai himself, you know, looking at everything. But who knows, man? Now it says Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 4. It says, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north. All right. A great cloud and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Now let's see what that whirlwind is. This is Isaiah 66:15. For behold, Yahweh will come with his fire, and with his chariots, like a whirlwind. You see that? To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. All right, so his rebuke with flames of fire, because when the chariots show up, they're not just going to be picking up the hopeful elect. They're going to be zapping people, you know, and they're moving in stealth right now, monitoring everything. But when they show up, they're going to be gathering the elect, and they're going to be zapping the wicked, you know, with them lasers, with fire, in the midst of the nuclear missiles hitting. All right. So they're going to render his anger, just like the hopeful elect are going to do things in the Lord's anger. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. All right. All right. This is 2 Ezra 13:1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. Now that wind is talking about the chariots. All right, that whirlwind means chaos, like a helicopter swooping over an ocean. It's gonna make all the water move. All right. Same thing that showed up over Ezekiel. I mean, in his vision, and also over Elijah. This is 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 11. And it came to pass, as they went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire. Wow, man. So a chariot, they were talking, what's going to happen to the hopeful elect one day. You're going to be talking, handling your business, teaching, doing whatever. And the chariot is going to show up over you. All right. A chariot of fire, man. You know, spiritual power. And horses of fire. You know, horses talking about the horsemen, meaning the actual riders of the horse, and parted them both asunder. So it separated Elisha from Elijah, because it was going to take Elijah with him. All right. And went up by a whirlwind into heaven, right? Because I'm sure if Elisha knew that Elijah was about to leave, he would have grabbed him and held him. So the angel separated him, made him back up. All right. So it says, and Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, my father. The chariot of Israel and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more, and he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in two pieces. So the horsemen thereof, man, they ride on top of the chariots, sunken down into the chariots, all right, or just inside the chariot, the cloud. So it said the chariots of Israel and the horsemen thereof. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 21. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to their mark. And hailstones full of wrath shall be cast as out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the floods shall cruelly drown them. All right. So that's, hey, matter of fact, I'm keep reading. So when the chariots show up, they're gonna be zapping people with their right aiming thunderbolts, and then you got the missiles that's gonna be right in the midst of that. All right. So if you're part of the 2/3, or you one of these heathens, you're gonna be getting cooked right in the presence of the angels. They're gonna be watching it happen. And Yahushua, verse 23. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. So ill dealing, man. The Lord gonna rise up the wicked against the wicked, Satan divided against Satan, and the Lord gonna be evil towards these wicked people. All right. And it says, he gonna raise up a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. All right. All right. This is Isaiah 14:23. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith Yahweh of hosts, man. All right. So it's gonna be floods, tsunamis, screech owls just flying everywhere, and lizards and shit, iguanas. That's the only thing gonna be left here in America, man. And pools of water at the explosion. But then it says, I will sweep it with the besom of destruction. So you're gonna sweep everybody the hell up with fire and clean this place off. This is Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind. All right, and that destroying wind is a nuclear fire that's going to hit this place. But in the midst of that, the Lord going to send his angels to gather up the hopeful elect in them chariots. And they're going to burn everybody the hell up. Zap them up. All right, this is Revelations 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, that's the RFID chip, the mark of the beast, and the beast is NATO, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. All right. So I'm gonna get back to this chariots, man. So that's what's coming. That's what type of power they coming in, man. Right now they on stealth mode. The eyes of the Lord. They just being eyes. They watching, and we're the voice, the speaking. Upon the earth. Cause it was beautiful seeing those chariots, man. And that one with the crown, just it's kind of surreal seeing that. And that's what's coming to this earth is gonna scare the hell out of these people. All right, so I'm gonna get back into this Ezekiel 1. I'm not gonna go too deep into this. I may do a lesson on it this week. I did a few breakdowns on it on the page. If you go through the playlist, you just type in Ezekiel 1 breakdown. But it speaks about the chariots and their wings, that it was 2 fleets of chariots spoken of in Ezekiel 1. One fleet was bronze, and the shine of them were amber. And also you had, on the other hand, you had them meeting up with the other fleet of chariots and their captain, Yahushua. And the color of their chariots were beryl, right? Just like the color of Yahushua's garment. And all this was happening in the vision that Ezekiel was seeing. And above them, Yahweh was above them. So it was showing Yahweh and the powers, right? And the angels. So this is a beautiful scripture, Ezekiel. But I'm going to finish it. Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself. And it's going to be melting the elements when he shows up. All right. And a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. So that's what we just saw, the color of amber. All right. That's the color of amber. Amber is a hue or a color that comes off of bronze. All right. A reflection of light. Now, that's how the chariot looked. Just like that, man. Amber in color. All right, see here, man. The second night it showed up, it had 3 heads on it. You see that? They're like angels standing inside of a cherub. They fly upon or on the chariots. Same way you ride in the chariot like with horses. And you got some that you can go into, like the cloud that came and received Yahushua into the chariot, into the cloud. But then you got these cherubs, Look at that, man. That thing beautiful. All right, this one right here, you had the crown. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get one more scripture. This is 2 Samuel 22:10. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. It's crazy, man. So the Shemayim or the sky was, is under his feet, man. All right. And he rode upon a cherub. See, they ride upon the chariots. Just like Yahushua say, Ezekiel, in 2 Ezra 13, he flies up upon it, on top of the chariot. All right. So they can be in the chariots or on top of them, either one. It says, and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. And the wings represent the chariots. Scripture says he will come with his chariots as a whirlwind. All right. Matter of fact, This is Malachi 4:2. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. So his wings represent his chariots. All right. And I'm gonna get into that in a second, probably. But it's just clear, man. All right, Ezekiel 1:4. You see where it says amber. You know, the color of amber out of the midst of the fire. So in the midst of this energy, this fire that was around the chariot, this hue, this glow, there was the object itself had a glow, and it was amber. You know, and the chariot was actually probably like the metallic bronze looking chariot. Verse 5. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. See, out of the midst, I mean, in the middle of the chariot, you have 4 living creatures, meaning they look like men, but they weren't men. Right? They just look like creatures or creations, right? Living beings. And they weren't animals. It wasn't a damn ox, a eagle, and all this bullshit, man. All right? The scripture tell you what they look like. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. How did they appear? How did they appear? You know, appearance is what you look like. It says what? They had the likeness of a man. All right, period. It didn't go no further than that. All right. And it says, and every one, matter of fact, let me get this. This is Hebrews 1:7. And of the angels, he saith, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. All right. So he made his angels spirits. So that's what they are. They're in the spiritual realm. All right. They made of fire. You see that? So they look like humans, but they don't have sexual organs. They don't have a heartbeat. You know, they don't have a stomach to where they need to eat. You know, they don't die. So they look like living creatures. The word creatures comes from the word creation. And we are creatures today, you know. Verse 5. So it says they look like men. And every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings. So I already went through this before, but there were 4 main chariots. All right. There were 4 lead angels, just like the scriptures speak of the 4 archangels. Now there were 4 lead angels, and each 4 of these angels had 4 chariots with them. You see that? So each angel had 4 wings, meaning 4 chariots among them. All right, just like you would see an Air Force, you know, you see the Air Force, and then you got the Navy, and then you got the Army, you know, and then whatever else. Now you got the Space Force. But anyway, then they have what you call wingman, all right, your wingman. And like the same way ducks fly, you have the V formation, 1 in the front, 2 on the right side, and 2 on the left, called wingmen. And that's what the scripture's talking about. The wings of heaven, talking about the chariots. All right. Not butterfly wings. Now it says panyam, which can mean face or a forefront. But it's talking about their duties or persona. All right. Or their presence. You see that? I don't like this one. It doesn't get too detailed. But yeah, the face as the part that turns, let me see, presence, the presence of a person, man. All right, so it's basically talking about their presence or their demeanor or their purpose or employment. They say each one have 4 duties or 4 purposes or their reason, you know, and the other and it also had 4 chariots with them. So they had their ranking. You know, they had the army with them. Right here it says what? Of a bird or army. All right. So it's talking about the chariots. All right. Psalms 91:1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of Yahweh, he is my refuge, my fortress, my power. In him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers. All right. Now it's talking about the actual angels. And under his wings shalt thou trust, man. And that would be what? The trust would be in his chariots, trusting in the actual angels. The angels and their chariots. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. This is Psalm 61:1. Hear my cry, O Yahweh, attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee when my heart is overwhelmed. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. So we're being led to Yahushua. For thou hast been a shelter for me and a strong tower from the enemy, a covering, right? A protection. I will abide in thy tabernacle forever. I will trust in the covert of thy wings. And it's talking about the chariots, man. It's covering. This is Psalms 104:3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters? Who maketh the clouds his chariots? His chariot. All right. Who walketh? So the clouds his chariot, right? That's his cherub. You know, you got a cherubim, you have a cherub. Cherubim would be like an angel, and a cherub would be the angelic chariot. Who walketh upon the wings of the wind? You know. Let me say Luke Skywalker. Well, the real Luke Skywalker is Yahushua. He's the only and original Skywalker. You know. Sailing upon the wings of the wind, man. The pirate in the sky. The captain in the sky. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and end it there, man. I'm going to go into this deep breakdown with Ezekiel right now. Spirit jump on me to do it, I'll do it. But if not, you can go through the playlist and look at the breakdown. But yeah, man, the fire by night, cloud by day. You know, and there's many chariots. Hold up. It says Psalm 68:17. The chariots of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them. Yahushua is among them, man. Just like it speaks of in John chapter 1. The Lord was with the powers from the beginning. All right. Among them as in Sinai in the holy place. All right. So Yahushua will come down in a big giant chariot as he came down on Mount Sinai. That's how he's going to return. And the angels going to be with him, man. Thousands and thousands of angels. Matthew 26:64. Yahushua saith unto them, Thou hast said, nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of the Father of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. So when he shows up, we're going to see him show up in the chariots. He's going to be in the chariots. So Revelation 7, where it says every eye shall see him, meaning we're going to see his chariots, all right? We're going to see his angels, and we're going to see him, the chariot that he's in, or on top of, either one.